understanding of how the point in time where the U.S. government made the decision to start researching on children as well, when they had discovered that foreign nations were already in that activity. He said that it was a very rapid, well, then if they're doing it, we got to do it.
And we got to do it bigger, and we got to do it better.
Yeah,
because
so
we're the United States.
So that was the type of program that I found myself mixed up in the library at my grammar school. So it was very interesting. I was privy to a lot of stuff, I guess, early on that most people are going to just be learning about right now, apparently. And that's, that remote viewing works. Everybody has the ability to do it. And it's just more or less how much you practice at it will control your proficiency.
Mm-hmm. So this was just kind of reality for you then. I mean, as a kid, I know when I was in first grade, I wouldn't have been, if they were taking me out of class and bringing me to this place and doing tests and, whatever. I mean, that would just seem normal to me. And it makes sense that, and the reason I brought up where you grew up and the ties to Paperclip is because I don't think it's by chance that you end up in this program. Right? I don't think it's by chance.
Oh yeah, I believe that there's some there's some aspect of my reality that I have yet to completely understand, ascertain. Not sure how to put it because I'm not there yet, but it's there sure seems to be some sort of guiding hand that gets me from opportunity to opportunity, or engagement to engagement, person to employment. There's just such a peculiar line that I've walked that it's just it seems to be way beyond coincidence.
Yeah, I literally wouldn't, I couldn't agree more. Just, watching multiple of your podcasts and interviews for the past week or so. I've just been, I'm under the same kind of guys. I feel like you have been, even with the South Pole, I think that was destination final.
I mean, that's, even myself, I forget how big of a deal it is to have wintered at the South Pole. That's not something.
Introducing the ultimate cognitive enhancement solution, BioMind. Today's video is exclusively brought to you by our sponsor, Adentia Herbals. Unlock your brain's full potential with a powerful blend of 9 meticulously selected plants and mushrooms, each backed by peer-reviewed research for their cognitive boosting benefits and safety. Adentia Herbals formula combines organic full-spectrum powders and potent standardized extracts, ensuring that you receive the optimal concentration of each ingredient's cognitive enhancing compound, carefully selecting the most desirable parts of each plant and mushroom to create a harmonious blend that supports your mental clarity and focus. But that's not all. They infuse each bottle with personal intention of improving the lives, the minds, and overall greatness of each of their customers. Because of their commitment to your well-being every step of the way, you're going to get an exclusive 25% off your order via www.adentiaherbals.com using our code TOTALDISCLOSURE at checkout. All the links will be in the description or on the screen.
I'll never be able to say that.
Yeah, and even what I do for work now is limited exposure to the cold, but for all practical purposes, I mean, it's not a skill set that you need to use often, but when you need to use it in really bad environments, I guess I could say I'm really good at being out in extremely cold places and not dying.
Well, that's a good, yeah, that's a great thing. And like I said, if you can get the job done in those kind of environments, I mean, we'll get there, but I mean, you're in a tent in the South Pole. People don't
For
know
the
that
summer season.
in the summer, I mean, what?
Yeah,
What?
it was lunacy. It was absolute lunacy. It was so cold in those tents.
Like, I don't even understand how that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
How that could be considered humane.
Yeah, I was beside myself trying to figure that one out. A couple of storms blew in here and there, and it was wild how much the exterior was involved with the interior. And it was like, how the hell can they be getting away with this?
Right.
But it's Raytheon, and they're allowed to experiment on people.
Yeah, and they're right. You're in Antarctica. You're in the fucking South Pole.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is an experiment in and of itself. Just the social dynamics, everything going on is worthy of study 6 ways from Sunday.
It's exactly like that. It's not only, like you said, to conduct this whatever mission, whatever end goal, or whatever the secret big mission is there, whatever it connects to. There's also this other side where they're watching and they're monitoring. How do these people react by spending a year in this desolate wasteland? Not wasteland, but because
it is a wasteland. Yeah,
but I'm sure it's beautiful in its own right. It's just after 7 months straight, I'm sure the scenery, you could give a shit less about it.
There is no scenery. There is nothing. It's flat. Like, don't get me wrong, the sky is the beautiful part. There's nothing there. You're at 10,000 feet of elevation, and there's nothing there. There's not a mountain. There's not a tree. There's nothing.
Do you think Antarctica is misrepresented in the media? And
entirely, this is kind of the whole point of what I'm doing, is to bring truth to this topic, because it appears that every conversation that I'm observing in the disclosure community about Antarctica is unsubstantiated, speculative, sensationalized crap that has nothing to do with the verifiable considerations that should be getting discussed. It seems to be a full court press on trying to confuse the general population of the planet about what really is going on down there versus what could be going on down there. And they want to over speculate and under substantiate so that people don't discuss what's really going on.
Right.
There's a disinformation game going on this topic. What other topic would you give any respect if there was a debate going on and one person was experienced in the topic and another one was just a researcher in the topic? I mean, why would you give any weight to the one that has no experience in the topic? But here we have one that in the disclosure community, we can observe that there's a whole bunch of people that have no experience in Antarctica, and they're controlling a conversation on a place that they've never been.
Yeah.
How is the general public tolerating this farce?
It's because they want to know what fucking Kim Kardashian's wearing to the Met Gala. They're too concerned with that.
They're all currently being spoon-fed, regurgitated information about the continent of Antarctica that's been around for decades. There's nothing new under the sun in the propaganda information. They just keep repackaging it and reintroducing it to the public as if it's new. Like, as if it's new for anybody to say, hey, did you hear that way back when the Nazis might have snuck down to Antarctica with some submarines? Yeah, actually, people have been talking that a really long time now.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is not new
I
info.
don't. Yeah.
But every 2 years now, we get a resurgence of things that are pseudo new all over again, which in and of itself is the control mechanism.
Okay. And okay, so there's a story that I didn't even know if I was going to bring it up, but I'm sure. Are you familiar with like the Admiral Byrd stuff
Mm-hmm.
and the whole, like I literally mean the whole that went into another fucking place, another world. With your experience there, could such a thing exist?
Not at the South Pole proper, where everybody's trying to state that it is. And again, I get that a lot of people don't understand this topic. They weren't there. They're not familiar with terminology, stupid little details, but it matters. So what I'm getting at is I was actually at the South Pole proper, and from being there, seeing the lay of the land, I can say that the hole that people are suggesting Byrd saw and stated was at the South Pole was not actually at the geographic 90 degrees South Pole, if there is one.
Okay.
But everybody wants to fight about that.
Okay.
With that being said, I would also suggest that if he did, in fact, see something, that if people would just simply do the research and follow that his logbook entries are referenceable to times, dates, and altitudes. From the time that he claims that he saw some sort of oases, some hole in the ice, at the elevation that he says that he was at, it sure seems like he's near the coast.
Okay.
Because if he was further inland on the highest continent on the planet, he'd be way above the ice line and things would just be different. So these are the details that people aren't paying attention to, that when he's calling elevations and saying, I see this and I see that, well, you have to consider the ice elevations versus sea level, and all kinds of things are different in Antarctica. So I would suggest that whenever he saw what he saw, according to what he was calling out for elevations, he was probably near the coast.
Interesting. That's very interesting. Because that's
which would make sense that there were spots where there were no ice.
Hence exactly. Okay. See, I'm actually glad I brought that up now, because like I said, if you were there and as your job duties would have it, you had unfettered access to the facility. So if they were guarding some giant hole, fucking to another world, sure you would have come across it.
Yeah, they called it the gravity tunnel.
Oh,
it was boarded up and secured for 99.9% of the time that I was there. But everything else I had full access to. But the gravity tunnel, oddly enough, was the most peculiar section in the facility.
And what does that mean, the gravity tunnel?
It was apparently some sort of sensor that was paying attention to the Earth's gravitational field.
Okay. And is that meaningful in any way?
We're just discussing rooms and access, and I'm just letting you know which technically was the most peculiarly secured room.
Okay. Understood. And so you start having you get flown down there, you start getting acclimated to this job that you got with Raytheon, right? So you're contracting with Raytheon, so you're working for Raytheon while you're down at the South Pole, and your main job duties include like maintenance technician or plumbing technician, and making sure that the place stayed operational, right?
Yep.
Okay. And when is it that you start realizing something's not right?
I mean, I guess initially my understanding that Raytheon